In this video, we head back into the Northern Territory and travel the Duncan Road up to Ord River National Park. Hello everyone. We've gone back down south after doing Purnululu National Park, and we've gone through Halls Creek and we've turned left and headed along the Duncan Road. So Duncan Road is sort of like a road that sort of swings around the other side, the eastern side of Lake Argyll, and it's just an alternative way to get up to Kununurra. There's a few points of interest along the way which we hope to have a look at. We've stopped in at Palm Springs, a really nice waterhole just beside the road. We briefly dropped into Sawpit Gorge. We were planning on staying the night there, but it was a little bit busy, so we kept moving. But a beautiful spot if you can get like a small camper trailer. I'd probably take the cross track down to the river edge, down to the side of the waterhole, but a little bit tight for a little bit borderline in terms of tight for getting down there. But a few nice spots. So we're planning on driving a fair way today. There's a couple of river crossings further up north on Duncan Road that we want to have a look at, and worth exploring. So we'll see how we go. An old 60 series Land Cruiser. I'm guessing it doesn't have an engine because it's sitting right here. Another old Holden. Not sure what model, I'm not good on the old Holdens, but what's that, FB maybe? Not quite sure, but again, doesn't have a engine in it because the engine's sitting right here. Old Holden grey motor. Because of the damage that we suffered with the gas lines on the LPG bottles, we're now back to using a little butane lunchbox cooker. We had to pick it up from Halls Creek when we were passing through because our other little stove, the one that uses the Coleman bottles, the LPG bottles, you couldn't get them. Good morning everybody. We've been camped the last couple of nights down at the old Ord homestead river camp, just down beside the Ord River. Beautiful spot. It's as you can see, it's basically a rock slab beside the river. We've just set up further up there. There's a couple of other people further down as well, camped near the river and a little bit back from it. There's a beautiful little water hole here, which We haven't swum in. You probably could. It's quite shallow, so it wouldn't be hiding anything nasty, but yeah, we just had a bit of a splash in the rapids up there yesterday. But yeah, absolutely beautiful spot. What I do find interesting, it just shows something about the power of the river when it's in flood, because all of this rock section is a whole lot of slate blocks, and obviously they break off when it floods and they accumulate. And so just to the left here we've got this section of accumulated rocks which are just being held in place by the poor trees that have stopped it, and then accumulates behind it, which I find quite interesting. It tells you a couple of things: the strength of the flow of the river, but also the ability of these trees to withstand whatever nature throws at them. Yeah, quite interesting. So we're going to continue on our way again this morning and head north on the Duncan Road. It's an interesting road. It sort of meanders in and out of Northern Territory and Western Australia for a little bit before it comes out on the highway just to the east of Kununurra. Was from the back on the way in, but it is definitely XF Falcon. Burnt out carburetor model. Shame. XF's my favourite of that series. Driving out from our overnight camp. I just want to stop and have a look at, there's the camp that we stayed in was the Ord homestead river camp, and it got its name from the Ord homestead, which is in ruins just up here, so we're going to go and have a squeeze. Hello, we had a couple of days spare, so we've gone into the Keep River National Park, which is just across the Northern Territory border, back in the Northern Territory. We're just going to spend a couple of days here. It's got vibes of the Bungles, similar sort of rock structures, not exactly the same sort of shapes, but the same sort of shapes as the Bungles, but still very magnificent, really nice to look at. So we're just going to explore this. We're just doing the Grandling, not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it, walk, which is right next to the Grandling campground, which is where we're staying. So yeah, we'll have an explore and see how she goes. there's been a fire through here relatively recently, and it always fascinates me just how quickly the Australian bush can regenerate. So we've got all of these burnt out eucalypts of some sort here that have been burnt to a crisp in terms of the trunk in some cases, but sprouting up from the roots, it's new growth. It's amazing the way it recovers like that. It's hard not to love a boab tree. One of the few species, native species anyway, of deciduous trees in Australia. It drops all its leaves in the dry season just to conserve moisture and stores the water in the trunk. So this was the home of the Murrawong people during the wet season. So we've got this rock overhang, and in the wet season they used to hang around underneath here to stay out of the rain. And under our feet there's a lot of evidence of it's essentially a midden. There's lots of fine shells and bones and evidence of meals past. And also in a lot of these rocks you can see where they took their seeds to make sort of like ground them up to make sort of like a damper that they baked. So yeah, very interesting place. Well worth the walk. This will be the close of our video on the Duncan Road and Keep River part of our trip. We're going to head today into Kununurra and then head into El Crestro to start our Gib River road run. So join us on that video.